very excited about your book. It's not often that someone drops a project like this. This is over 300 pages. I believe there's 27 effects included. And this is what a lot of people are considering to be a masterpiece. So why don't you tell everyone about your masterpiece, The Code? Why don't you let them know what it's all about?
Oh, yes, of course. This is a thick book. As you said, it has around 320 pages, and it's done in two languages, in English and the Spanish version. I have included 27 full routines. They are not only tricks, they are full professional routines, which they include all the techniques, all the psychology, and all the pattern for each and every routine. And also the book contains a chapter about my theory on magic, and you will find on that theory very new concepts that I'm sure is going to be useful for you. I'm offering a lot of tools so you can be objective in the analysis of your own effects and routines. So this is a good book. It took us around 2 years to put it together, but the work behind the book, it was done for 8 years, and I am sharing all my experience of 32 years performing magic professionally.
Wow, 8 years from start to finish. That's amazing. Wow, that is a long time. Not to
Yeah,
mention, like you
yeah,
just
long
said,
time.
yeah, that's a long time. Not to mention you're packing 32 years worth of experience, knowledge, and of course your material inside the pages of this. That's amazing. 32 years of work combined. Beautiful
Yeah.
stuff. Beautiful
And
stuff.
you know what is very good about it is that I am included a lot of pieces that for years were just for my exclusive repertoire. So you will find a lot of new pieces. Most of them are magician's foolers, but this is the kind of routines that you can use for laymen and still entertain laymen in the at the highest level.
Love it. Love it. Well, we've already got some people saying that this is one of the best books this year. Honestly, that one comes in from Luis. Luis is saying this is one of the best books of the year. Um, Michael is saying he's pre-ordered it and loving it so far, which is great, great stuff. Also, just so that you know, we have an international group of people watching. Jeffrey Clark here. I want to give him some love. It is about 5:30 in the morning in Australia, and
Oh,
he's watching us from Australia. So there you go. People are all
hello
about some
to all
Fenik.
the people of Australia. Hello, my friend from Australia.
That's very cool. Speaking of international, why don't you let people know, where you're from and what your background is as a magician too? If you want to talk about that briefly, and then we can get back to the book. But you've got a nice, rich history of who you are too. So why don't you share that with the guys watching too?
Yeah, of course. Right now, I can start saying that I am 50 years old now. I begin to perform magic professionally since I was 17 years old. My teachers were Baltasar Fuentes. He was a very close friend to Ed Marlowe. My other teacher was Larry Jennings. I studied with Larry Jennings for years. Also, my third teacher was Michael Skinner. So these three mentors were my mentors for years, and I learned a lot of theory thanks to them. I learned how to create magic and to build effects thanks to them. And I want to say that I'm very grateful with my teachers. I have performed at the Magic Castle for 29 years now, 29 years performing at the Magic Castle.
Mhm.
I performed at Caesar's Palace for 5 years, as you know, Luke. And I've been working hard on magic, creating magic. And what I want to do now is to share all my creations with the magic community. And I am happy that people are liking the book.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I was mentioning to you before, we've got some people that have already pre-ordered this. that have already had it, that have been, reading through this. We had a really nice mention from Nigel Quinn here. He says "Hola, Fenik. The second section of the code has some eye-opening magic theory," which I think is also important to note here, that you're not just sharing your magic effects, you're also sharing, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the theory that goes into this. And like you said too, you can apply this to your own magic that you perform as well, which is very, very cool stuff. I like to call that the real work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you something about the theory.
Okay.
I made a very important discovery in magic, which I call it the deception sources. I think that chapter is going to be a very important theory in modern magic, and is going to open the eyes of a lot of magicians, because I felt before the book was written that there was a missing link about the theory of magic. So I made that discovery, and I am sharing this discovery with all the people, which is included in the code. And I'm sure that this chapter about the theory is going to help all the magicians to understand magic better, and to be able to improve their own routines and effects. And that very same theory is going to help magicians to be more creative and build their magic in a very clean way.
Love it. Love it. Love it. It's so much is packed here. And again, this is over 300 pages. I think 330, around that is the total,
Yes.
which is absolutely incredible. And it's easy to see why it took you so long to get it all together, and ready. And the other cool thing is, because Spanish is your first language, right? Like, you did the book in English and in Spanish, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah. Doing the book in both languages, it took us a very, very long time.
Okay.
I had to work with my American friends, with Larry Harrowitz, with Dave, also our friend Dave, and our friend Alejandro Hinojosa, my own sister. She's dedicated to bilingual education.
Oh wow.
So four guys were in charge of translating the book in English, and of course I was supervising them.
Mhm.
And it took us around 1 year to translate the book. I think the book is very well translated in English, and everyone will be able to understand each and every paragraph.
There were some questions coming in. This is a good one. This one comes in from Michael King. He wants to know, what's the overall skill level required? So is there a general skill level with the book, or is it a variety of material for people to use and study?
Okay, that is a very good question.
Yeah.
I think 80% of the routines are reachable for standard magicians, okay?
Mhm.
We have included automatic tricks, which you can learn them in 1 day. We included also sleight of hand tricks, which needs a little bit of practice. And for those who likes to do close-up magic, I mean real prestidigitation, real sleight of hand, we also include some interesting plots where you can find the hardcore technique. So the book is for everyone. We have included all kind of material in the book.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. For a book being so big, I was thinking there was going to be a lot in there for everybody. So there you go. And that must feel pretty good, knowing, like, yes, you've had some amazing mentors. You mentioned Skinner, who I've looked up to for so long, Michael Skinner, and Larry Jennings was another huge inspiration for my card magic from the early days. But having people like Mark D'Souza, who's a very established magician, collector, performer, he kind of does it all. Putting this book on the same level as Tamarice and Wonder, that's got to really tell you that you're doing something right here, man. And that's got to feel pretty good at the end of the day, because we don't have a lot of books these days that are that good. Let's be honest. There's some good books, but there's not a lot of great books that come out. And I'm going to put yours in that that latter class of being a great book, because you have been there, you've done this, and you're sharing everything in between. You're sharing it all in between these pages. And I can't stress enough to the guys watching, that this is the real work. This is the stuff that will take you, instead of buying a one-trick DVD, which there's a lot of good ones, you can get over 20 effects, almost 30 effects here, and theory and all this for like, what is this, $100? I think the book goes for $100, right?
Yes.
That's a steal. You're sharing 32 years worth of knowledge and experience. That's a steal. And I get a little carried away with books because I am a true student of the art and I do love books. But I got to sing the praises when they're here, man. And you've got the good stuff here, Fenik. You've got the good stuff, man. You do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you going to say? Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yes. I was going to tell you that the one of the best things about the book, that all the material that we included are performing pieces, okay? They are not tricks to do them in your magic club. Of course, they work in a magic club, but all of them are performing pieces. If you work in a bar, you will be doing these effects. If you work in a formal situation, you will find the right kind of effects to build a good close-up formal show. So this material is full professional material. It's not an experiment. All of the tricks, I have performed them for hundreds or maybe thousands of times during my life. So I am sharing my very exclusive repertoire to the world.
Love it. And people are definitely sitting up and taking notice. I just had something on the screen from Michael. I'll put it back up here because I'd like you to hear this as well. Michael says, I'm impressed by how many viewers have already have the book. That's always an early sign of a must-have title. Ordering this now. Thanks for your hard work, Fenik. So it's always nice to hear those good things too,
Thank you very much.
Very cool.
Thank you.
This was a question that came in from our friend Mark, and I know that's going to be tough because there's 27 effects. Do you have a personal favorite or favorites that maybe you would like to share with some of the viewers? Do you have any favorites from the book? I guess we'll go.
Yes, of course. I have some favorites. One of them, I call it Round Trip, okay, which is a variation of cards to the pockets.
Cool.
I think it's one of the craziest cards to the pockets ever invented. And it's a magician's fuller, but it's very funny and it's very surprising. So I can recommend you, if you buy the book, please read and perform Round Trip. That is a killer. Now, if you want to devastate expert magicians, there is a trick which I call it Miracle, where you have the spectator, you allow the spectator to really freely think of a card from his shuffled deck. He shuffles the deck after he thinks of the card, and the magician is able to find the card without touching the deck. Hear this, without touching the deck. The name of the trick is Miracle, and I have devastated magicians from all over the world with this trick. So read Miracle. Oh. The other one is the Rev, which is a variation, an impromptu variation of the Mexican Revolution, a trick that you like it a lot.
Love it.
But this is impromptu with no gaffed cards. And I think the other one, I call it Maximum Penetration. Maximum Penetration is a very, very easy trick to do, to learn, but also it's a magician's fuller. And if you perform it for laymen, they will love it. The plot is that the cards penetrates among each other, and now you, at the very end, you kill them with a couple of surprises that they will never expect. So I think those are my favorites, but I love them all. I love the 27 tricks sure, because they are part of my formal repertoire.
Yep. What was the name of the last one again? The last one you mentioned?
Maximum Penetration.
Maximum. Okay, very cool. We've actually, we had a couple of people. It's funny because as soon as you started talking about Miracle, our friend Darren, he wrote Miracle, and this is before you said it. Darren said, Miracle is worth the price of the book, Magician Fuller, big time. So yeah, he's a fan of Miracle. Also, Michael Mayo, he's a big fan of Kerygma. He says it's one of the best tricks in the book, and it's the first one. So he's a big fan of
Oh yeah.
Kerygma. Yeah.
Oh, charisma is very important because it's a variation on the Larry Jennings, the searchers. But here you don't use the cover pass, not even once. In Jennings routines, you have to do the cover pass. In this one, you don't use the cover pass, and it's very, but very visual and very, but very clean. It has a new principle, which I call the double tilt. And I think magicians will enjoy learning this new concept in card magic.
Love it. Our friend, our friend Nigel Quinn must have the book because he told me that on page 89 is round trip, one of your favorite tricks from the book. So
Yeah,
there
I
you
love that trick. I love it.
Mark actually says, based on your description of round trip, the card to pocket, he says, "I want the book. When is it available?" And the good news is it's actually available now. It is officially available worldwide for magic shops, and we'll get more into this in just a moment, Fenik. But also, speaking of worldwide, Fenik is on a lecture tour, kind of helping to promote the book, and also, dropping some knowledge at a lot of different magic clubs too. So we'll kind of get into the details of where he's going to be and where he's been. But yeah, he's going to be heading out, and Mark wants to know if he can get it signed. Why don't we go ahead and share where you're going to be then? Maybe he'll be in an area where you're going to be lecturing. Where will you be when you hit the road?
Yes, we are going to start a worldwide lecture tour.
Mm-hmm.
We are beginning in Spain.
Okay.
In Spain, we are doing 10 lectures all over the country, starting in Lugo. Then we're going to Valencia, to Madrid. We're going to several places in Spain.
Cool.
Now we're going to Holland. They just got the publicity, and we're going to Holland on October the 8th in Gonga Star Lecture. That is the name of the place. Gonga Star Lecture will be in Holland.
Okay.
With our friends of Gonga. We'll be in France in 6 cities. Cool. And also in England. Now we're coming back to Mexico, then to the United States, and then we're going to Acha. All of this to promote the code because we want to share this material and we want them to see in person how the effect looks, because I'm sure that once they see how each effect looks when you perform them, they will be very happy to buy the book.
Yep. Once they see it, they want it. They got to have it. Yep. And it's funny. I like that because that's the way it is with a lot of books, to be honest with you. I know that streaming and DVDs are a very popular thing, but man, I tell you, if you read some books and you go to a convention or you're around other magicians and you drop something from a book, that's the best way to show them that books have the treasures, and you've put out some really good downloads. I did want to mention that too. We've got at Murphy's, we've got quite a few of your downloads as well. I know I was mentioning the Mexican Revolution, which is one of my favorite things, but you've also put out the Card Idol series, which has a lot of great material, and the Beast Collection as well, which is a video download. It's a download with a lot of great stuff. Is any of the past work, like anything from these downloads, is any of that also on the downloads if people wanted to also see you perform this stuff, or is this all material you've never shared before in the book, in the code?
No, that's very important that you mention it.
Okay.
If we speak about the Beast Collection, it has 8 tricks. Those 8 tricks are in the book.
Okay.
So if you want to see how the effects looks, you can see the Beast Collection. But of course, in the book, they are better explained.
Sure. I believe it. Absolutely. There was also another really, really creative trick that I saw from you. It's called Torn and Transformed, which I think a lot of people will enjoy if they do parlor stand-up type of work. It's an older release of yours, but man, I was watching the trailer earlier. It's a very, very clever piece of magic. Do you happen to share that in the book? Or I know it's a marketed effect, but do you share some of that in the book too? Or is that a standalone effect that you just you have available for purchase?
No, Torn and Transformed is not in the book,
Okay.
but what is in the book is a very clean, and I mean a very nice torn and restored business card. Its name is Phoenix. So if you buy the book, you should read that, and I'm sure once you practice it, it's going to be part of your repertoire forever. It's, I think, a very magical way to tear a business card and restore it piece by piece, but in a very, very clean way.
Nice.
It has a very clever method.
Very cool. All right. And if people are also asking if they want to get the downloads, you can find those from online magic shops. Just type in the name Fenik. You see the name below, Fenik. Those downloads are out there, as well as Torn and Transformed, which again is a very, very clever and practical way. It's a card revelation, but you also get a nice kind of torn and restored kind of thing going on in there too. Very nice piece of magic. I was checking that out earlier. Mark also wants to know, I guess he's one of our UK friends. Actually, yes, I know he is. When will you be in the UK specifically? I guess for our friends that are watching from the other side of the pond, do you have the dates by any chance that you'll be over there?
Yes, I'm going to start the tour in England in October the 18th.
Okay.
So I'm going to be in London and in 3 more cities, but I don't remember now which cities.
Sure.
But for sure, I'm going to end the tour in Europe in the Magic Circle in London in October the 28th. So in October the 28th, I am ending the tour in Europe at the Magic Circle in London.
All right, very good. I know that'll help a lot of people out because we do have people that are actually Magic Circle members, and people. Also, Nigel was asking about Blackpool. Will you maybe be at Blackpool in 2020?
Well, I haven't been invited, but let's see. Let's wait.
All right, sounds good. Very good. Also, don't forget, guys, we are here to answer your questions about the book. So if you have any specific questions, I'm going to look through the list again, but let us know. That's why we're here with Fenik a little bit longer here to help to answer those questions. So
here it is, the Spanish version.
There we go.
And I want to point out very important thing. It's a thick book, as you can see, but the nice thing that its quality is very good. If you open the book, as you see, it stays open, okay? So you can put it on the table, you can flip the pages, and it stays open, so you can practice with both hands.
Yep.
While the book remains on the table, and it will stay open. The quality of the paper is very good. It has more than 200 illustrations. I'm going to show them.
Oh,
the
nice.
illustrations were made by my friend Jorge Betancourt. He did a wonderful job. And you will find a lot of surprises in this book because in the theory chapter, you will read a lot, but I mean a lot of examples of real life examples that you will be able to understand the effects better. I mean, the effects that you are doing now, the effects that form part or belong to your repertoire, these examples will help you to improve the impossibility of your magic. That is the point of the theory chapter. The goal is to improve the impossibility of your own magic and to make it, very real.
Absolutely. Very good. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, I keep using this. I sound like a broken record, but this is the real work. This is the stuff that makes the difference between you just doing a trick and doing something that's a lot more impressive. The theory, the inner work, it's all in there. And I know that's why I used to love reading like the Tommy Wonder books, and it's all there. It's all there for you to absorb, which is amazing. Also, someone that does have the book, Nigel Quinn, he's back again. He says, excellent quality book with great stitching, clear text, and diagrams. So obviously, it's a very easy book to learn from. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy to learn the material, but it's a very easy book to sit down and learn from. And I do like the fact it's a true magic book that you can set it down and it'll stay open. You thought of everything. You've literally thought of everything with the book, which is great. I love it.
As you know, because sometimes when you are studying magic from a book and you are using both hands holding the deck of cards or the coins,
Yeah.
sometimes it closes, and then to find the page again, is a pain on the neck.
Yep.
So we thought about putting all the quality that a magician deserves when he reads magic.
Yep. Absolutely. Those are the things that as a magician you will appreciate, like you said,
Yes,
because I know I've had times where I've literally tried to put my arm on the page to hold it
exactly.
down while I'm
Or
trying to do the.
sometimes you have to place a glass of milk, on top
Yeah.
of the book so it doesn't closes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
with the code, that will not happen, okay?
Yep. Yep. Someone's also asking, where did they go? Jason wants to know why not a Murphy's lecture? Would you ever consider doing an at the table lecture with Murphy's? You know we do those, and I know you mentioned a U.S. tour. Maybe we could talk after this and get you in our studio and do a lecture. That'd be kind of fun, huh?
I will be very glad to do it. And of course, if you want to do it, I'll be there and we'll do it, my friend, of course.
All right, you and I will talk after this then. All right, thank you, Jason, for the suggestion. I don't know why I didn't think of that myself. Yeah, good stuff.
Very good. So let me tell you something also about the book.
Okay.
There is a very, I'm happy. Okay, I'm very happy. There is a very good thing that is happening. A lot of people from all over the world are sending me pictures like this. They are taking selfies holding the book,
Love it.
and I didn't ask for it. So I'm going to take this space this time now for first time to ask you all. If you buy the book, please take a selfie and send it to me to my Facebook. Mago Fenik is my Facebook, and I will send you a present, okay? But there is a kind of phenomenon because I have a lot of picture. I repeat, I never asked to the people to do it, but I have a lot of pictures of different people holding the book like this, showing the book with happiness and pride, and
Love it.
that makes me very happy. So I want to thank you all, my friends, for sending me all those pictures.
Love it. Yeah, I had a feeling that was happening because people are excited to be getting this. Absolutely. Um, this is something I don't think I've asked you yet, but we talked about the skill level involved here, or the how hard is the stuff, and there's a nice variety. As if you're just joining us, there's something in there for everybody. But Daniel Ricks would like to know, what is the variety of tricks? Or are they all card tricks? Is this a card man's dream? Is this a card book? Or is there some other close-up magic kind of sprinkled in there too?
Okay. Yes, we have included 24 card routines, 24
Mhm.
full routines. And we have included a coin assembly, which you will like it a lot because this coin assembly, it doesn't need a big surface. You can do it in a very small surface. So if you work in bars or restaurant or in a walk around situation, this coin assembly is going to fit in your repertoire, and it's also a magician's fuller. We have included also a new penetration, a pencil through a bill, okay, with a brand new method that you will use it forever. Believe me, I use it every day, and it's very visual. They hold the pencil. You place two bills surrounding the pencil, and while they are holding the pencil, the pencil penetrates through the bills visually.
Nice.
This is amazing. It's also in the book. And we have included also the torn and restored business card.
Mhm.
So you will find a coin trick, a business card trick, and a pencil and bill trick besides the card tricks.
All right. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So there you go, Daniel. Hope that helped you out. It is a nice variety of stuff in there, and also if you are a card guy, this is like a dream come true. This is the good stuff. So yeah, but there's something there for everybody. Ellis Cohen would like to know, are there any gimmicks to be assembled? Sometimes, especially with, I've dropped this name a couple times, Tommy Wonder's books, you have to make some of the props. There's some, stuff you have to make to do the tricks. Is that the case with this? Are there any gimmicks that need to be assembled to perform these tricks?
Okay, no, watch. The only two tricks that needs that kind of setup, there are two tricks, but you don't have to build anything.
Cool.
You just have to make a little cut with a razor blade in one of the objects, which you can do it in 2 seconds, and that's it. But you don't have to build any special gimmicks. You don't have to use tricked cards. I'm a purist. All the magic that I create is impromptu.
Very good. All right. And again, that's why we're here. And that's why I'm glad that you've been here to help answer these questions, because people, they read stuff online and they start to make guesses about stuff, but it's always great when we can have the person behind it all to come on and to help answer the questions that people have. And if you guys have any more after this, I know we're about to wrap this up, you can always drop your comments in later. I do my best to go in and answer everyone's questions after these end. So if you're just joining us and have questions, don't be shy. You can drop them in and we'll go back and check them out. But any last words about the code, Fenik? I know we've hit the 30-minute mark, and I know it went a little over. Any last thoughts about the book that you'd like to tell people? And of course, I'm sure they'll be excited to see you on your tour. But when it comes to the book, any last thoughts? Any last words for the guys watching?
Well, my last words is that I have made a very big effort to write this. I want to thank my whole team. I mean, Larry Harowitz, Jorge Betancourt, and all my friends who helped me to build this project. We built a top quality project. My last word is that I am very happy that for first time I'm sharing my professional and exclusive repertoire to the world. And I'm very happy that people are buying the book. And I am sure if you get the book, you will get a lot of things from a book. Because when you buy a book, sometimes they say, if you get one good trick from one book, it's worth it. But I can guarantee you that from this book, you will use all the effects because they are professional routines.
All right. Very good. You guys heard it from the man himself. I don't have to tell you anything else. Fenik has spoken, and we'll leave it at that. Well, Fenik, I want to say thank you, sir, for your time. I know that you're a busy guy, and you're about to start hitting the road, so safe travels on your lecture tour, and I will be in touch about the other stuff as well. So look for some words from me, okay?
Okay. Look, I want to mention one last thing.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you for this interview.
Of
course, I want to thank all the people who works in Murphy's Magic, because I think it's the best way to sell your products in Murphy's Magic. I'm convinced about it. So I invite all the magicians, the creators, to work with Murphy's because it's the best way to do it, working with Murphy's. And the last thing is thank you for all the people. I'll see you soon, and I hope you enjoy the code.